everyone, and welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs go all in on their business, and we introduce them to professionals that can help them to do so. Today, we have a very special guest. Bruce, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, wonderful.
Excellent. Bruce, please introduce yourself in the name of your business.
Yeah, my name is Bruce Kopkin, and I'm a partner with TechCXO.
Excellent. We so look forward to learning more about your business. But before we do that, we want to learn a little bit more about your journey. And we understand that time is one of our most valuable resources. So let's go ahead and jump into things. Tell us about it.
Great, great. Yeah, it's been a long journey. I started off at Georgia Tech 45 years ago.
Okay.
Hard to believe it's been that long. Electrical engineer by degree, but determined really quickly I did not want to be an engineer.
Okay.
So I got into sales right away.
Nice, nice.
And took a job driving my car and selling motors and gears, and just found out I loved it.
Okay.
Going to different businesses, understanding their problems, trying to come up with solutions. It was the right thing for me. Kind of stayed through high tech, a lot of startups, some bigger companies, IBMs and Honeywells you may have heard of, and a number of startups.
Yes,
so it's been really great, and always working to find out what the customers needed, how to put a solution together that matched their needs. Everybody's different. Kind of hard to remember that all the time. You're peddling your products, and I think I know what you want, but slow down. I got to understand what you want first and do that. And I've been doing that ever since, and I've been on the management side, doing that for a lot of years now, and just really helping companies accelerate their revenues and reach their potentials.
Awesome. So Georgia Tech in electrical engineering,
Yeah.
Is it where you had influence from family members or parents, or were you just that guy in school that you knew you were going to be an engineer?
Yeah, I always liked math and science and trying to figure things out, and I had great parents. I remember one funny story, was out and got a Kool-Aid stand like so many kids do when they're young, and made $1.10 or whatever the heck he made, selling them for a nickel at the time, and was all done. My mom took 25 cents back from me for raw materials, and I couldn't understand it. It's like, wait a minute, I didn't cook anything, and then she explained to me raw materials and factories and how things got made and all that piece, and I think that was a foundation for so much what I did throughout my life.
Yes, awesome. So sales early, but just got the smarts if you needed it. Now, with your in sales, I want to talk to you about a couple of the scenarios in which you worked under. You said some big companies, IBM, Honeywell. Did you stay locally, domestic, or did you ever go international? Tell us a little bit about that sales journey.
Yeah, did a lot. Did all over the country, lived Silicon Valley, Ohio, Massachusetts, Texas, all over, and then did some overseas stints. Germany, Finland, Sweden, and then did a lot of traveling through Korea and Japan.
Makes sense. Now, a lot of times we take the experiences that we have inside of our careers, and then we look to be consultants because we have gathered so much information over time. Now, was there a event that happened that made you say, you know what, I am going to, become a consultant now? Something that made you say, I'm going to burn the ship and go all in on CXO?
Yeah, and it sort of built up for a while, but towards the end, where it came down to was difference of opinions between what I thought would be successful and what ownership thought was successful. Certainly respecting ownership. They have the right. Who knows what's right or what's wrong? I determined that the only jerk I'm going to work for moving forward is myself. And I decided I'm going to leave that and go ahead full in on myself, and now I've become a partner, a consultant, working for TechCXO, doing exactly that. Okay.
Now tell us all about your business. What is it that you are helping business owners with?
Yeah. So a quick second on TechCXO. So we're about 120 partners. We're probably one of the pioneers in fractional executives. Started about 25 years ago. We've got 120 partners, and I'm in the revenue generation practice. So what I'm doing is helping companies grow their revenues. And that can be everything from go-to-market strategies, channel strategies, product placements, territories, anything and all those pieces that help you make sure that you're accelerating your growth and reaching your potential.
What would you say is one of the things that would help a business owner understand that they need your help? Because the business owners are in it, they think it's okay. what are some of the things that they could see on their current map that they would need to give you a call?
Yeah. One of the big pieces is that your growth has sort of stagnated. As you're starting things off, the passion of the owner and the founders and getting things going, you can generally get some pretty decent growth to get going, but it can stagnate as you start to get bigger. The owners then start growing and adding a few salespeople and marketing people, and it's no longer that seasoned control that they have at the top, and they've got to make sure that they're laid out properly. That's probably problem number one.
Okay.
Number two is that as they try to start to grow and spread into different things, as I mentioned before, everybody's different. Every market is different. But a lot of companies that early on, they were successful doing that first thing, and they keep wanting to do that same first thing over and over again. So analyzing your markets properly, does your product fit that market? Is the pricing, who your partner should be within those markets, your sales people. There's a whole lot that goes in as you start to grow. And that's typically where someone like myself can come in and help you take what you know and then utilize that to help you expand quicker.
Excellent. Now, as I was doing the research, I saw you worked on company culture, the experience inside of a business. Do you mind sharing one of your experiences where you walked into it and you knew it was a terrible culture, and some of the things that you did to kind of change that and get them going in the right direction?
Yeah. A lot of times it starts off from the top, and the whether it's the founder, the president, the CEO, they believe that they know how to do things, and nothing can happen without that person's approval. And that really slows things down, and people become afraid to make decisions, to even make recommendations. So working with the different people to get delegations of responsibilities, authorization levels, and those pieces. So to your question about how can you recognize that up quick, just by asking some of the workers, how are decisions made here? Tell me how you do it.
Okay.
And if the answer is, I put it together, then I have to go to a committee, then there's something that's just not as efficient, as streamlined as it can be. And then you can work from there to make a change.
Gotcha. Now, I know there's so many aspects of your business that you can help businesses with. One of the things that I want to try to do, especially in these types of talks, is put together a great framework of what the ideal client looks like for you. Now, I know it varies a little, but give us a better picture of what that client looks like so we can try our best to introduce them to you.
Yeah, thank you. The ideal customer profile is probably somebody in the $3, $4, $5 million range up to $100 million. Once they get much bigger than that, there's enough infrastructure in place that they typically don't bring in the consultants for the strategies, unless you get to the really, really gigantic ones that are doing the McKinseys and those pieces, and I'm not competing with McKinsey. We do some things with people that are pre-revenue and helping them get going. It's really critical at that point they're doing things right. There's so many of the founders, especially in technology and from a ICP standpoint, high tech is a little bit more where I spend a lot of my time. Travel and hospitality is a big one, and then supply chain, CPG. That I've got this product and it's awesome and people are going to buy it. People don't buy products. We know people buy solutions from people.
That's right.
And we have to get that part done right. So that's sort of the range to get it done. And typically we come in and work for, it can be a project, getting something done, partner strategy, channel management. A lot of times it's fractional. You're coming in and spending 10 hours a week with the people, and you do that for 6 months until they go ahead and grow to the point where they can justify their own VP of sales.
Yeah, makes sense. I was going to ask what that engagement looks like, but you were already on top of it. Now, geographically wise, I know we're here in the local Atlanta area. Do you prefer your clients to be in this area, or do you mind traveling? Tell us a little bit about that.
I love to travel. I spent a lot of time in the travel and hospitality business. My last 2 startups were in that area. So I enjoy that. But all things being equal, we still need face-to-face time. We are still humans. COVID didn't make everybody want to go to Zoom and Teams meetings and those things. So there still is some requirement to get face-to-face. Of my clients personally right now, about half of them are Atlanta-based, but I've got one that's in Silicon Valley and another one that's in Portugal.
Okay, nice,
So, yeah.
nice. That's good. So you can help people all over the world.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Excellent. Now, I definitely appreciate you tightening that part up for me. Now, Bruce, I'm confident that over your 45-year venture in sales and business, that you have acquired and nurtured a bunch of business skills or best practices that have helped you to be successful. Do you mind sharing with the audience a few of those so they can try to strive toward that same success?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest ones that kind of crosses between the sales and the finance, the overall general management of things, is forecast accuracy.
Okay.
And most companies struggle with that, and depending how tightly nurtured, tightly controlled they are, maybe it may not be till December, when they're trying to close. Oh my God, we didn't make our numbers. Well, why not? Well, the sales guys overinflated their forecast. And there's ways that you can actually do a better job of managing the forecast of the salespeople. Salespeople by nature are optimistic.
Yes.
You start hearing, oh, this quarter is going to be tough, but next quarter is going to be great. Be afraid. But there are things within forecast accuracy that you can do by not just looking at, am I going to win the order as a singular probability number? Are they going to purchase? If they're going to purchase, are they going to purchase from me? Those are two totally separate questions.
Yes.
And at the very simplest level, that is the first starting point to getting towards a better forecast accuracy methodology to get things done. You look at those, if there's a 90% chance I'm going to win this deal, but only a 25% chance that that they're going to buy from anybody, they have budget problems or whatever. Well, in reality, what's 25% of 90%?
Yeah, that's
right. You've really only got about a 20% chance of winning that deal.
Okay.
That there's just one simple example. There's a lot of other checklists and things that go around that that can really increase your forecast accuracy, so that finance and general management can actually trust what revenues are going to be coming in down the road.
Trying to make it where it's a predictable revenue model. That makes a lot of sense.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Now, with that, do you just use old data from the past inside of that company, or do you use data from the overall industry, their CRM? Tell us a little bit about how to help with that forecasting part.
And it's a great question, because it is a mixture of both.
Okay.
How you've done in the past is wonderful information, but it's not always an indication of what you're going to do. What else is happening in the market? What are your competitors doing? Sometimes, in fact, it's happening right now with one of my clients, that one of their competitors just made a gigantic acquisition and has made a lot of announcements. Well, what that's actually going to do is increase the visibility within that category for everybody. Okay. Now, it may work out that the competition, may increase their market share a little bit, but the pie has gotten bigger.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing. So there's different ways to look at it. It's always changing, what's happening, technology, particularly these days, how you can use AI. AI it's a game changer. It's not going to get rid of people. People really aren't losing their jobs to AI. They're losing their jobs to people that are using AI. And particularly within the sales and marketing side of things, there's ways to become more efficient. But it's still people buying from people. Right. AI is just going to help you do it better. If you can harness those pieces and do it better using the old data, you can actually do a better job of projecting how you can improve moving forward.
Thank you so much for sharing that. The business owners that are watching today should be using that nugget that you just shared with them, because it's just helping them to forecast the future and have a better onlook on things. Now, I definitely appreciate you sharing about your journey, about the business, definitely those best practices. But I want to take a second and take a left and talk about Bruce. Now, let's just say that business is continuing to come along well. All of those clients that you have, you're just increasing their revenue. Time and money is not an issue at all. What is it that Bruce would do with his time?
And this may be something you probably didn't think you're going to hear, but I want to keep playing baseball.
Okay.
I started playing baseball when I was 4 years old, played through high school, college, and I still play.
Okay.
And in fact, I swung by the batting cage on the way here.
Okay,
so I was hitting balls at 10:30 this morning.
Let's go.
Still want to keep doing that. Traveling the country, going to tournaments, and doing that. So that's the thing I would love to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What position are you playing?
I'd always been a third baseman,
Okay.
and shoulder surgery a few years ago has moved me to second base.
Okay.
And I've fallen in love with second. There's so much more happening over there. There's a lot more you have to think about
Yes,
at second base than at third. You have to just be quick and reactive. So it's great. But there's tournaments all over the country all the time.
That's nice.
And I play in 60 and over leagues, 65 and older, and 70 and older leagues.
Okay.
Yeah.
You getting them out of the park still?
No. If I a nice hit will be a gapper.
Okay.
Because we still play wooden bats.
Okay.
And we don't throw the ball as hard, so it's really hard to hit that ball 350.
I get it.
But
I get it.
But it still feels good when it hits the bat just right.
That's excellent, man. That's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're still out there with that passion for something you had since you were 4 years old. That's magnificent. Now, I definitely appreciate you sharing that. And one of the other things I also want you to share is how would people get in contact with you if they have more questions about how you can help them grow the revenue, give them a better experience, customer experience, work experience? What's the best way for them to get you?
Yeah, the best way to reach me is either call me directly. I love talking to people. That's 770-330-9867. Or you can email me at bruce.kopkin@techcxo.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing these nuggets with us today. We truly do appreciate you coming on, and we always honor our guests by giving them the last word. So, Bruce, please look in the camera and tell the people something good.
Yeah, I want to share something with you that my dad shared with me a long time ago, and it works in your personal life and in your business life, and I used it myself, as we discussed just a few minutes ago. In almost anything that happens, you've got three choices. You can get over it, you can get out, or you can get an ulcer. And that's what I decided to do 6 months ago. Was I didn't want to get an ulcer, so I decided to get out and start my own thing. So whenever things are going on with you, you've always got those three choices. Work your way through it, make a change, or be miserable. Get over it, get out, or get an ulcer.
Nice. I like that analogy, and I'm trying my best to stay away from ulcers.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure, too. Thank you very much.
Excellent. And to everyone that is watching, be kind and thanks.